Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. Well, we are all set up for you and them. We are going to get a good look at your energy and your person's energy and the connective energy, and we're just going to dive in and see what we can see. I am really excited about this. I did have other plans for today, but they got hijacked. I really got very clearly that we needed to do this reading today, and it has been a while since we've done one. So we're just going to dive right in and see what's going on. I do like to begin my readings by thanking those of you who regularly watch my videos, who comment, who like, who share, who have subscribed to the channel. I deeply appreciate your support. Thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome. I am very happy to have you here. I hope that you do find a message that brings you some peace and clarity, something that resonates. If you do, please let me know. Leave me a comment or like or subscribe. I deeply appreciate it, or all of the above. All right, let's dive in. For Pisces spirit, what messages does Pisces need to know? What is the energy of the masculine in Pisces? Wow, the dog spirit. Okay, all right. And the feminine energy for Pisces. The feminine energy for Pisces. Okay, wow, we're getting two. Well, I love this. We're getting a fish spirit. It is almost the season of Pisces. And here we have the fish spirit. Okay. On the bottom of the deck, the energy of the connection, we have the deer spirit. Bring a gentle touch. So right away, I'm getting, you know, at the heart of this, at the core of this, I feel like there is kind of an opportunity for really great companionship. You have the coyote and the dog, and the coyote and the dog are, you know, related. And, you know, at the heart of the matter, they probably have much more in common than different. But at first sight, we might miss it. Because it kind of feels like, to me, it's like superficially, there may not be a whole lot in common here, but the deeper we dig, the more we find out that we're super compatible, that this is a really compatible companionship. I mean, I just keep getting that word companionship. You know, and I do feel like the combination of the koi and the coyote is giving me that black cat feminine energy, and the dog spirit is giving me that like golden retriever energy. That oh, I don't know, I've seen videos on it on YouTube, and I think I've heard about it from TikTok. Like, I don't have TikTok or watch TikTok, but people are constantly talking about TikTok around me. So I know like more than I ever really wanted to know about TikTok or videos on TikTok. Not to say that there's anything wrong with TikTok. I don't have an opinion about it one way or another. I just never personally got into it. But I'm not like super fabulous with technology. Here's the thing. I feel like this masculine is kind of bringing this energy of it feels like there's someone who tries to do the right thing. It feels like there's someone who, you know, I'm almost getting loyal to a fault. You know, and there may be a lesson in here that this dog spirit is learning right now about being loyal and who and what to be loyal to. Like, to prioritize our loyalty to what we love, or like almost make it exclusive to what we love, rather than trying to be loyal to everyone or everything all of the time. It's almost giving me, yeah, it's giving me a feeling in the pit of my stomach even as I say that. So I don't know what that's about, but I'm getting that very strongly. But it's kind of like, if you're loyal to everyone, you're loyal to no one. You know, it's impossible. And so it may be some kind of lesson even that this masculine has been learning or has learned or is in the process of learning, or maybe even learning through this relationship. It may even be a situation where this masculine has a lot of friends, or, you know, a really strongly opinionated family, or, you know, family member or friend, or, you know, someone in their environment who they've been loyal to, but that person may be, you know, steering them away from this relationship, or not approving of this relationship, or I really resonate most deeply with they have too many loyalties and too many places to too many people all at the same time. And something has to give. Like, you can't maintain that. They're in opposition of each other or something here. And then you have the coyote spirit with the koi fish spirit. And this is the feminine energy. And, you know, I feel like something isn't going quite as planned. I felt that strongly. I actually had a different reading planned. I was going to do a spread. I had all of this. I kind of had worked through it last night. I was like ready for it this morning. And, you know, in my meditation, I very clearly got you and them. And like, so here we are doing the you and them reading. And I always feel like those things are tied to the energy. And I'm picking it up here with this coyote spirit of trust in the divine detours. Because sometimes things don't go as planned, or sometimes things don't go to the plan, or to the vision that we're holding, or to the idea that we have about something or someone. And so this is giving me a sense of patience, honestly, because with the koi fish spirit, it's saying there is always enough, which is saying to me that this feminine is maintaining sort of a positive, optimistic attitude, and is saying, you know, like, maybe something is taking a little longer than they wanted, or maybe, you know, somebody isn't totally ready for the relationship that shows up, or somebody's still closing out a cycle or working through something. And there's kind of a, Bubba, oh my goodness, Bubby, Bubba, you guys, he's so funny. What is it? No, there's nothing out there, Bubba. So, Bhakti Francis, stop. Come here. Bhakti, come here. No, something's got his attention. I'm sorry, you guys. It gets loud, I know, when he barks. But there is this energy of Bhakti. It's fine. Okay, thank you for coming. Yes, you're such a good boy. But there's just this energy of having patience and sort of allowing what wants to happen organically to happen. And kind of almost like having this, there's an intense focus on this coyote spirit's face. And it's like, just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I mean, it's like they're not losing the vision. They're not losing the they're not, it's like they're not letting the little things, or the kind of the day-to-day, or the, well, I thought this would have happened by now, or something like that. They're not letting that sort of overtake their larger vision of what's happening, or what is possible, or what can happen here. With the deer spirit on the bottom of the deck, it's saying bring a gentle touch. And so I feel there is this energy of both people sort of being aware of the effect that their presence and the path that they're taking, or the path that they're on, or where they're at, is having on the other one. It's kind of like, and also, you know, when we're bringing a gentle touch, that always, it makes me think of compassion, right? And it makes me think of considering, you know, what you're touching, and, you know, being mindful of how you're going about it, like recognizing that you do have impact and effect on another person, or whatever it is. but in this case, another person. And that, you know, it's not about being a bull in a china cabinet or insisting on having your own way or, you know, taking a sword or something to it. It's about holding space for it and allowing it to show up. It feels like what is building here is a very genuine and authentic kind of companionship where, you know that you're not going to be forced into something that you're not ready for. There's not an ultimatum. When I think of the sword, I think of ultimatum. There's not strong speech. If you don't do this, then I'm not doing this. It's all very much like a lot of understanding and a lot of, you know, the dog spirit may be looking at the coyote saying, you know, I know this is what you eventually want and this is what I'm working toward and this is what I am doing. And I am like, I feel like they're closing out a cycle or something. Like, I feel like there's something incomplete or some lesson that's being learned at this time with the dog spirit. And it's like the feminine is being very like, okay, I'm watching you. I'm making sure that you're making progress, or I'm seeing how things are going. I'm watching your actions kind of energy. But I'm not gonna force. I'm not gonna make it. It's kind of like when you show up, or when this comes together, or when this really happens, I want to know that I can rely on it, that I can count on it. And I feel like both people feel that way, and I feel like both people want it to happen. And so with the deer spirit, it's kind of like, you know, I'm mindful that I may not be showing up the way that you want, or we may at this time we may not totally 100% be on the same page. But it's okay. It's okay, because especially the feminine is bringing this energy of there is always enough. You know, this we're headed in the right direction. It feels like. Now, I don't usually do this, but I felt guided to. I was going to use these cards in the reading that I was going to do, and I went to put them away, and then I thought, no, I think I'm going to use these. So this is a shadow and light oracle, and I'm going to use this to clarify the dog spirit first, please. And the coyote and fish spirit. Interesting. Yeah, see, so the masculine is really at an important end and a new beginning. And this masculine really does need time, I feel like. It's interesting because the feminine does have a sword in her hand. And isn't that interesting? Because I was really picking up on a sword energy. Wow. I mean, really, you guys, I love the tarot and the oracle cards. The Fairy of the Highlands is a really interesting energy clarifying this, you know, coyote and koi fish spirit, because you know, this is someone who really doesn't want to fight. And, you know, it kind of goes against their nature. It goes against the way that they, you know, it's kind of like someone who doesn't really feel like fighting is necessary, or that fighting even necessarily achieves the goal. That sometimes it's necessary. It's like they're not afraid to do it, but they'd rather exhaust all their other options. Like she wants to have peace and be peaceful, for sure. But she's not afraid to take a stand, or to speak her truth, or to kind of be brave, to step into her power. And so that is there. It's not that she is just overlooking things, or just willing to wait on in, or whatever. She has this in her spirit. She has this in her energy, where she is going to try to avoid a fight, because that's just her nature. And because I think she really believes in peaceful resolution to things. But she has a limit, you know, she's not just here ready to let this go on eternally, you know. She has a sword, she just prefers not to use it, kind of energy. And, you know, with this masculine energy, which at the end of the world, this is really giving me this masculine needs more time. He is closing out a cycle for sure. This is such confirmation to me. I mean, honestly, both of these cards are such confirmation to me because I was really getting that sword energy so strong. Like it hasn't been used. There isn't a lot of sword energy here. Like I need to cut something off. But with the witch at the end of the world, this is, it's kind of that moment when you can't keep looking away from something. You can't keep making excuses for something. You can't keep saying, well, but it's okay, or, well, I'll just make an accommodation for this. Something is coming to a crossroads where you have to release it, or you have to, you have to let a cycle, a natural cycle, come to its conclusion. You know, very few things in our life are really meant to last forever. We're in a constant state of change. The world around us is in a constant state of change, and we too are in a constant state of change, and our what we need, what we're looking for, and what we want from the world is in a constant state of evolution and change. There's something here where I feel like a masculine may have to take a stand against his work, or a family member, or a friend group, or a friend, or there's something here where it feels like his loyalty is split in too many directions. And I think that worked for a while. And I think he felt, it made him feel like a good person. Or there's something here where I just keep getting, especially with the dog, it's like, you know, I'm doing the right thing. And I'm you know, it speaks to his need to kind of feel good about himself. But there's something about it now that's maybe starting to make him feel bad about himself, or it can't even be that this feminine is sort of saying, who is your priority, or where does your priority actually lie here? Which can be very uncomfortable, but it's more of a question than a statement, like your priority needs to be me. You know, she's just like, hey, let me know so that I can make this choice. You know what I mean? So you have this pink lotus fairy. And this energy is really beautiful. For me, this is the connection. It is like clarifying the deer spirit, right? And there is something here in this energy where this is connecting with our higher self. This is connecting with even spirit. This is kind of about being prayerful and meditative and staying out of our thinking mind, and connecting to our highest and best self, and to, you know, all the wisdom and all the knowledge that's available to us on a higher plane. This connection feels like a very deep old soul connection, where it's like, I feel as though the entire universe is conspiring for this to come together. But even when the entire universe is conspiring for something to come together, it's not without its challenges. It's not without its difficulty. And so I think that the energy of this deer spirit combined with this pink lotus fairy, it is just like tapping into that loving self and tapping into that highest and best self, and using our intuition to navigate rather than our ego. And, you know, staying very calm, staying very at peace. And when it's not possible to stay at peace, then being willing to kind of stand up for ourselves, or to end things that, you know, have kind of hit their time of natural conclusion. Guys, I'm sorry. I just realized I forgot my tea, and I feel like I'm going to start coughing. So let me just grab it real quick from the kitchen. I already made it. That was so funny. My dog was like, what are you doing? You just got up and left when you're talking? All right. So let's dive in. Let's see even further what we have going on here. Let me actually, before we do that, I just want to take one on the connection. Spirit, what can you tell me more about this connection? Okay, I'm getting, all right, we're going to take 3, I think. Okay. Oh, wow. See, there's something here where there's like even an acknowledgement almost, like whether it's been said out loud or not, I don't know. I kind of don't think so for most of you, but it is like, this is kind of an irreplaceable connection, or it's definitely a connection that's worth kind of seeing through. You have reflection. Being away from you has allowed me to gain clarity. You know, for some of you, there may be some type of separation here, but for others of you, it feels like even, you know, if we part ways to go to sleep at night, or if we part ways to go to work or whatever, there are these times of where the mind is really slipping away, and there is some, I think, self-reflection and some reflection on the connection even, that is really bringing clarity. One, that it's kind of like, I really want this, or I really see a different kind of potential, or I feel a different kind of connection even to this person, and there has to be a reason for that. And then there's the other part of it, which is, you know, I'm starting to see sort of the error of my ways, or I'm starting to see even the connection through the other person's eyes, and where I may be falling short, or where I may be disappointing, or where I may need to like step up a little bit. And I feel like they're both sort of poised and ready to step up, but I feel like neither one of them, they both don't want to do anything. I feel like that's going to jeopardize the connection altogether, because there's this irreplaceable on the bottom of the deck that just feels kind of overridingly strong. The shadow side, it says, you made me realize my flaws. And, you know, I do think that that's true. You know, for the feminine, it may be that like, it's really hard for me to speak up and say what I want and what I need, or it's hard for me to express my emotions, or it's hard for me to sort of rock the boat and ask a bunch of questions, or to point out something, or to, you know, express something. And with the masculine, it's this loyalty to too many people. It really feels, it keeps coming back to that for me. And then you have secrets. I haven't told you everything. And for me, this is more about, I haven't necessarily told you how I feel about this connection, or where I necessarily really see it going. More so than it's like, I actually have some kind of secret that I haven't really told you, you know, like something deceptive. It feels much more like, you know, I just haven't said how I feel like, mostly. So, okay, let's, I'm just going to scoot these down, because I like to keep looking at these while I'm doing my thing. All right. So let's dive in. Let's get a better look at Hannah, shall we? The masculine energy for Pisces in spirit. Wow. Remember I said there's like just a kind of an overwhelming feeling of companionship here, and then we have friendship, and friendship really is such a important aspect of companionship, I feel like. Okay, so this masculine is definitely doing something here. They're going through something internally. I mean, they may look completely fine from the outside, and they may even be very steady, very stable, but that doesn't mean that they're not in deep thought when they walk away. I definitely continuously get that feeling. There's almost like the energy of on this reconsidering card, the masculine has his back turned. And it's giving me this vibe of someone who doesn't necessarily want to, you know, when we're front facing, all of our vulnerable spots are pretty much really right there and exposed. And, you know, our heart, our lungs, our abdomen, you know, all of these really kind of like sacred centers of our body. It's like, you know, even though they're not completely protected from the back either, it feels like our front is so much more vulnerable. And I feel like this masculine may have had an opportunity to be vulnerable or had an opportunity to kind of open up. And I feel like he shut down a little bit, or he kind of turned his back a little bit. And there's just this energy of staying comfortable. He's got like this beanie and this hoodie and this, like, he's wearing comfortable clothes and he's sitting in a comfortable position. And it's like, you know, he kind of had the choice to like step off the curb, and instead he like sat down and made himself more comfortable. And, I feel it's kind of one of those things where I think in that moment he may have felt like, I don't want to say justified, but he may have had in his own head his own thoughts or his own ideas about where things should be or where things should be going. And you know, how do I want to say it? Like, it is the energy of justification, but then it's not also. So it's, oh God, you know, it's kind of like the way I see it, and I'm only looking at it from my point of view. Like, it's too early, or I shouldn't totally make myself vulnerable here. And this also could be, I'm getting a little bit on the advice of a friend, or this feels really tied to that energy of who are you loyal to. And part of it is like, this can be someone who has had the same friend group, or has always sort of listened to his mom, or always listened to his sister or his brother or his dad, or has always sort of been very dutiful to his culture, or, you know, his job, or, you know, he's always kind of had that priority. And it's like something may have asked him to make a different priority, and he kind of may have just been like, whoa. But I think he may have stayed in his comfort zone with what he's kind of always known. But I think he's reconsidering it. I feel like he's actually reflecting. He's actually sort of, I think that it's made him kind of realize how like emotional, or how much emotion or something he actually holds for this feminine, because he's really riding this wave. He's really, you know, just trying to stay up on his surfboard, you know, and it sort of feels like some things are crashing down around him, and he's just trying to navigate the space. And I feel like this may be the first time that making this choice has led him into this kind of energy where he feels unstable rather than more stable, because he's made the choice, which I think is exposing to him how much he actually feels for this feminine. And I feel like, you know, I feel like this masculine has taken his time. With research here, I feel there is this energy of, you know, I really took a while watching, learning, you know, checking it out, you know, even, you know, I don't even know if dating, but maybe developing a real strong friendship here, or a real strong energy of trust between us before I even, you know, took this to the dating level. Or maybe I haven't taken it to the dating level, and maybe this was the confrontation of, should we date or not, you know? And I said no, and now I'm really regretting that choice, because I'm really realizing, like, oh my gosh, I'm so emotional when it comes to this situation. I do feel like the masculine is seeing a bunch of signs and synchronicities that are almost like reaffirming to him that this connection is really unique and really special and a deep soul connection and has its own reason for being and its own purpose. And I do think that even some of these signs and synchronicities are sort of leading this masculine in the direction of opening up to the feminine, because there does seem to be a very spiritual aspect to this connection. And in order for that to really be, there has to sort of be a spiritual aspect to the masculine and to the feminine. And I feel like this masculine spiritual side is being really, you know, like the easy, cheap word here would be awakened. But it's like electrified, you know, magnified, intensified through this connection. It's like they're even more in touch, even more into like heightened feelings, heightened awareness of synchronicities, heightened energy of, you know, needing to apologize or needing to, sometimes you know, this apology card just reminds me of the Page of Cups, and sometimes it isn't necessarily just like a straight up apology as much as it is like, let me share some authentic piece of myself with you. Let me kind of humble myself to show you my truth and maybe some emotion or some vulnerability. There's this positive energy here at the bottom, where I just sort of feel like this masculine is really trying to stay positive and trying to like reinforce a positive message with this feminine, to sort of, even if they, you know, made a choice that where they stayed comfortable, I think they're really trying to reinforce with the feminine that like they do care, or that they are showing up, or that it's not a case of them being rejected. I feel like they're trying to make that very clear. They're trying to get the feminine to stay very positive. There's like this overcast energy in this card, and it's like I'm getting like the clouds will clear eventually. You know, maybe I'm confused right now, or maybe I'm having a moment where things are a little dense and I'm not really seeing the forest for the trees, but it will clear. It's clouds. Clouds don't stay forever, you know. Wow. See, the feminine is definitely not waiting forever. You know, there's this restless energy on the bottom of the deck, and we also have this angry energy. We also have this new chapter energy, and we also have this boss energy. So it feels to me like this feminine's got a lot going on for her. I think she also kind of knows that she is sort of a desirable feminine. Or that, you know, this certainly isn't her only option, or like, I don't want to say her only option, because that's not it. I don't think she has like a bunch of options waiting in the hallway, but she, you know, definitely knows that if she were to put herself back out on the market, or if she were to like seek some kind of companionship with someone else, that she could probably find it. I think she's very picky though, with this energy, because if she wasn't really picky and she felt that way, she wouldn't stay around. She would be like, okay, see ya. Like, I don't know who you are. I mean, like, I don't know what you got to go through or what you got to figure out. But if you don't know what is standing in front of your face, I do know what's standing in front of your face. I know my worth. I know my value. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. If you ever want to talk again, you know, look me up. And if I'm free, I'll talk to you. You know, she has that capacity here for sure. But her heart is open and involved with this masculine. And so, and I do feel like she is someone that it's actually very kind of difficult for her to find someone that she can open up to or feel this way about, because this anger is showing up. And I've been getting this a lot in meditation, anger and anxiety showing up as, you know, it's really a suppressed emotion, or it's this feeling of, I can't love you with reckless abandon the way that I want to. I can't show you, I can't let this relationship get imbalanced by allowing myself to feel the way that I want to feel about you, or express what I want to express, or it's really like allowing myself to go into the depths of my feeling that I am capable of. I can't go there until I know for sure you're along for this ride, and that you're dedicated to this ride. And right now I'm sort of questioning your loyalty. I'm sort of questioning what, like, are you, like, are we to the point where I am a top priority in your life? You know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, she is kind of a fiercely independent woman. I feel like this is kind of an intimidating energy, honestly. I feel like she's got a lot going for her. I feel like she's kind of in a new chapter of her own life. I feel like she knows that, you know, people want her. She may even know, like, there could even be, like, definitely a past person that, you know, kind of sticks around or doesn't totally let the feminine go, or hasn't, or, you know, whatever. But I feel like she doesn't really care about that. I think she's really focused on this relationship. I feel, you know, it's kind of like, I don't want anybody else. I want this. But if, you know, I'm sitting here, I'm being patient because I know that for the right person, you know, it's worth it. And I feel something that I don't normally feel, or that I haven't felt ever before, or that I know is really special here. And I don't want to just give up on it. I don't want to just cut it off. I don't want to just give you an ultimatum. I don't want to just, you know, kind of I almost feel this energy of call your bluff. Because I do feel there is this energy in the feminine where it's kind of like, and you know, I hate to say it, but this is like, I just got to channel what I channel. It's kind of like, you know I'm 1 in a million, and, you know, like, I know you're lucky to have me, is kind of the energy I'm getting. And I mean, I feel like to a certain extent, we should all feel that way about ourselves in every relationship, right? But this is kind of like it's not egotistical or arrogant or anything. It's just just sort of an acknowledgement of this feminine's worth with her own self. Like, I know I'm not a dime a dozen. I know women like me don't grow on trees, you know, and we don't wait around forever either. I feel like the feminine is in an energy where she is trying to surrender to this relationship, and is also trying to surrender this relationship to the divine. And just sort of say, you know, like, if this is meant to be, which I feel like it may be, like, please help. Or, you know, I've done everything I can do, or I continue to do everything I can do. It's in your hands kind of situation. But this is a feminine, you know, it's just like the Fairy of the Highlands, like, hiding out there. She has the sword, you know, and she knows how to use it. She prefers to be peaceful. She prefers to not, and she definitely... you know, she's finding something in this masculine that she doesn't normally feel. In this picture, it's almost giving me this sense of safety and security. Like, just being at peace with the waves as they wash in. You know, waves for me are synonymous with life. And it's ever-changing, you know, tide. And it ebbs and it flows and it comes and it goes. And sometimes it's high and sometimes it's low. And, you know, it's like this feminine is completely relaxed and comfortable in the arms of this masculine, letting life go by. I mean, she can see herself being able to navigate the highs and lows of life with this masculine and feeling safe and secure and cared for. So why am I going to walk away from that when that is so freaking hard to find? So I see this, I see all of this, but at the same time, she's still very much a single entity in her own mind. And I think it's almost like the masculine may have forgotten that. They may have been so wrapped up in the connection and the connective energy and their own situation and their own history and what they were bringing to the table, that they sort of lost sight of that for a minute. And I feel like that's this apology energy where it's like, no, I need to come in and make myself vulnerable. I need to come in and say something here, you know? And I do feel like there's a conversation looming. With conversation here and apology here, I feel like both of these people are ready to have some kind of major conversation. All right, all that being said, we're going to dive into the tarot now. And we're going to get a look at what the masculine's thinking. What's happening in his mental body for the masculine. Wow, Judgment. See, this is a big decision the masculine has made with this Judgment here. Wow, this masculine is really, they are doing some very serious, oh, wow. they are doing some very serious introspection. We've got to clarify that tower, don't we? They've had a major awakening. And this is what I felt. It's like they forgot, they lost sight of the feminine's independence and the fact. Wow, the tower is clarified by the tower. Let me get another one, please. Okay, thank you. Ooh. Okay. So, wow. Okay. This masculine, it feels like they were raised well, or they, it's like there's something here where, how do I want to say, they have a real strong sense of right and wrong, and kind of like chivalry and doing what it means to do the right thing. And there's something here. God, I am really searching for an example, because an example is really going to be the best illuminator of this. And the ones that I'm coming up with are controversial. Sometimes we have a really strong sense of what is right or wrong. But, okay, well, oh, God. Like, let's just use any great teaching, okay? And I'm just going to use the Bible because, it's definitely out there front and center. Sometimes, our interpretation. So, if what it means to be a good Christian. When I was growing up, I learned about the golden rule. Treat others as you would have them treat you. And I learned about, I wasn't raised in a religious home, right? But I, like, the history of my family actually has roots all the way back to the Puritans. And so there is something that is just handed down generationally about what it means to do the right thing, a good thing, or a bad thing, or, what it means to right from wrong, or whatever, right? But, and I'm sort of like, in some ways, I'm glad that I got to make the choice and to like bring myself to the church and to make that decision for myself and to choose like everything for myself. And just my entire religious or spiritual path, really. But there is, people can have very different interpretations of, and people can be taught what the words mean in such a way that it can become somewhat convoluted, and where they can be very misguided. Their intention is to do the right thing, or to be a good person, or to have good Christian morals and values, but it's almost like they have cognitive dissonance. Like they don't understand that, at the heart of everything in the Bible is actually love. And if they do kind of know that, they lose sight of that, because, do you see what I'm saying? I'm just going to leave it like that. Hopefully you see what I'm saying, or hopefully you get the example. So a part of me is getting this energy of this masculine who's very duty bound, right? And he's very loyal to what he feels duty bound to, to honor, to respect, to elevate. And it's in his foundation. So this, okay, here's an example. So this could be a masculine, right, whose dad abandoned him. And so maybe he has a child with someone who he, doesn't, can't have, can't have a long-term relationship with. They just cannot, meet in the middle, And so he's in love with this feminine, but he wants to remain really important in the child's life. But the mother of the child is like, the only way you can stay in this child's life is by getting rid of this feminine, because I'm not going to have the child around this feminine or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's just making it impossible for him to have both of this relationship with this feminine, which has gotten very important to him, or this relationship with the son, who he knows what it feels like to be abandoned, and he knows what it is to overcome that. And he made a vow to himself when he found out he was going to be a father, that there's no way in the world he's ever going to let that son feel for 5 minutes what he felt his entire life. And so he's then giving his power to the mother of the child because he doesn't want to lose contact with the child. This actually happened to one of my cousins, and it was terrible. I mean, the mother would program the kid to be like, you can't go in the house if that person's there. So the kid would sit in the car and cry and wouldn't get out of the car because the person was in. It was crazy. And it wasn't because this person was dangerous or anything. It was literally because she just didn't want any other mother in the child's life. And it was so sad. And it was especially sad because the child actually had a relationship with the woman before the mom. And it was just, okay, we don't need to go there. But I even see that with the 3 wands now. But this masculine is kind of looking at his future, and he's kind of, he's saying, wait a minute, what do I want my future to look like? And in doing that, he's kind of realizing what is misaligned with that future vision he has for himself. And I think, you can make compromises. You can, when you don't have a strong vision of your future, you can just really kind of easily give your power away to situations like that, where you can be like, no, it's more important for me to see this child. But when you start to envision your future with someone or in a particular situation, and you're looking at it and you're like, okay, this is my happiness or my child. Like, what kind of decision is that? Like, how can I grapple with that? Where would be the right place for me to make that decision? And, when someone thinks they're doing the right thing by, sacrificing their own happiness to be with their child, they can sort of keep doing it, but it doesn't mean that that's actually in alignment with them. You see what I'm saying? And with their vision of their future. And what happens, when you don't put the oxygen mask on yourself before putting it on your child, is that you stop breathing. You run out of oxygen, and then your child is there without you. And that's, a very extreme example, but there's a reason why they say put the oxygen mask on yourself first. And I think this masculine is starting to recognize and realize how out of alignment and how jacked up whatever this is that they have chosen to be loyal to over their own happiness and the future that they envision for themselves. And it feels like with the Knight of Swords there, I think they acted without thinking. This has been their truth for so long, and this is just them speaking their truth. And you know, they haven't reconsidered it. They haven't looked at it in a long time. They haven't considered that there could be some other way to have both, or that they have just sort of given their power away in a moment where there was no competition, in a moment where there was no other vision of happiness, when there was no other thought of what could be. And now that there is, they're sort of realizing the recklessness of kind of saying, this is my truth and this is where I'm operating from no matter what, always. And it's created this real emotional storm, you know, where this masculine is just trying to ride the wave. They're just trying to stay standing on their surfboard. And they're realizing it's getting increasingly difficult because they can't ask this, you know, feminine that they love or that they see in their future to sacrifice their happiness while they kind of wait for things to get better. Or while they close out this cycle in their life. And you know, it may not be that dramatic, you guys, and it may not be, you know, a situation with children or whatever. That's just an example, right? But it's like this person has thought that they were doing the right thing, but this entire situation has made them reconsider. And the Tower, you know, I've said this, when I first started doing the tarot, every time the Tower came up, I would just get this sinking feeling and I'd be like, towers are never good. Oh, I hate the Tower. You know, it would just make me feel sick to my stomach. But as I have sat with the energy and I've read tarot for a long time and I have meditated on all the energy of all the cards, the Tower has become far more divine intervention than anything else. This is something that is a flaw in the foundation, and this structure has to fall. It has to, because this masculine has to be able to follow their heart. That is part of, it's almost like our divine inalienable rights is to follow our heart, to be able to be free, to follow our heart. And other people should not enslave us in such a way that we cannot follow our heart. And so there are these moments where there are these like tectonic shifts that happen, or where we meet a soulmate, where it's like we can no longer hold these two spaces together, and something has to give, something has to fall. And so it usually is a major sort of, you know, awakening or a heightening of an understanding or an intensifying of an emotion that brings us to this space where we finally have to make this judgment. And you see, even in this judgment, there's a masculine, a feminine, and a baby, or, you know, a child. And, you know, it's like, so how is it? Let me find the way to have both. Like, if I need to take the mom to court, if I need to, you know, what it is that I need to do, but I have to be whole for myself and for my child and for this feminine. And I have to take my power back. And I have to make the judgment that is in alignment with my soul, with my true being, and with my spiritual calling, with everything. There always comes this moment of reckoning, either here or you know, after, but it comes, and it is divine intervention, and it is an opportunity for you to right the wrong. And so it does feel like there is some heavy stuff going on in this masculine's mind. But what I see is that the masculine is really looking at his future, and he is really saying, kind of, I need to have balance. I need to, you know, take my power back. I need to make a strong decision here that is empowering for this future vision that I have for myself, and that enables me to follow my heart, which you can see is leading right to this feminine. Wow, in the heart space, my God, I mean, seriously, in the heart space, we have the Fool, the 10 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Wands with the 7 of Wands. You know, this is a masculine whose heart space is pretty blocked. I mean, it's guarded. It's not blocked, it's guarded more so, I would say. In their heart space, they just want to be able to take a leap of faith. In their heart, it's like there is this deep understanding, there's a deeper level knowing that this is their potential to really have what they want, to have a firm foundation, to leave a legacy that they're proud of in this world. And with the 9 of Wands looking over these energies of the Fool and the 10 of Pentacles, it's kind of like, I can't give up on this. I can't let this go. You know, this is too big. This is too huge. This is too great. You know, the Fool is the ultimate person to fall in love. You know, it's that person that, you know, can free themselves of any burden or any blockage or any, you know, past history or any burden. Like, well, I've already said that, but you know, just they're free to really take a leap of faith, and that's what this masculine is really yearning for, and his heart is fighting for it. With the Seven of Wands here, the heart is standing its ground and it's not giving up. The heart is going to force the mind to see this. You know, the heart may even be forcing the Tower, because it is this emotional wave that this masculine is riding that is really causing him to understand that, like, these feelings already exist. This desire already exists. I can't let this go. I don't want to let this go. I know what this is. It is creating this clash where, you know, like two tectonic plates come together. Okay, what are the potential actions of this masculine? Oh, wow. This masculine, you got the 10 of Pentacles with the 10 of Cups. Oh, geez, Louise. With the Star card. Oh, my goodness. This masculine, I think, is pretty hung up on the things that they've already done. I'm going to clarify this Devil here. But they didn't take control and make an offer when they were at the crossroads. It's like either they made no decision or they made the wrong decision. And it was based on something that it was a cycle that was closing out, you guys. I mean, seriously, there's something in this masculine, the way they think, the way they interpret the world, the way that they've navigated what they've been loyal to in their life, who they've chosen as a priority. It's like, it's always sort of worked for them. I don't even think they've really ever had to question it very much. But it's something that is really draining them. It is something that is having a very... Wow. What I'm getting here is this energy of this masculine is kind of seeing the stuckness, or it could even be some form of dependency, or some type of entrapment from something outside the masculine, like their family, like you know, a mother of a child, like whatever, their job, whatever, that it's like with the 5 of Cups and the 10 of Swords, it's like they kind of regret letting it go on so long. They kind of regret letting it affect them to the degree it has, or deplete them to the degree it has. And with the 10 here, it's like they know, they recognize that it's time to close out the cycle. So that is kind of their main focus as their, you know, what they're going to do. They're going to close out this long and difficult cycle that probably has gone on too long, or has played too heavy a part in their life even. You have now 3 10s in this reading: the 10 of Swords, the 10 of Pentacles, and the 10 of Cups. So there's definitely a very strong energy of completion here. And it is brought about with the Star card energy, which is a return of hope and optimism. It can also be, you know, coming face to face with their wish fulfillment. Like, you know, it can even be where, like, this masculine was like, oh, you know, I really want somebody like this, and da-da-da-da-da. And then they found somebody like this. And then instead of choosing that, they chose their past again. And they had to do that in order to really come to this, like, major Tower moment that helped them. I get this, like, electricity energy. I don't know what that is about, but, like, maybe it is like lightning. I don't know. But I keep feeling this electricity and then telling myself it's lightning, and then moving on, and then I keep coming back to it. So I don't know what that's about. But there's just this energy of they have to get their life in alignment. And, you know, with the Four of Swords here, it's like they may be a little bit quiet, or they may be a little bit distant, or they may be a little bit pulled back. Because, you know, when we close out a cycle, especially when it's one that is like the Ten of Swords, where it's been really detrimental and really difficult, the Ten of Swords is no joke. I mean, that is a brutal, brutal, brutal energy. We kind of gloss over it and go, oh, the Ten of Swords. But it's a very intense energy. I mean, it's extremely draining. And with the Four of Swords here, it's like, I need a moment to heal myself. Like, I need to come around. And I felt this energy with the feminine when all we had was the coyote and the koi spirit, which is kind of like, you know, I'm willing to wait for you to come in the right energy, not half dedicated to this and half dedicated to this and half dedicated to me. I guess that's three halves, but, you know, it's like I want you to be sure, and I want to be sure, because it's almost like this feminine has such deep feelings that, like, she doesn't want to go there with someone who isn't gonna in the end show up. And so she's kind of almost like putting this masculine in a place where it's like almost like maybe he got a glimpse, or maybe he, you know, they've spent enough time or had enough happen to where he has feelings for her, but like she's like, I'm not going to give you everything I have to offer until you know, your loyalty is with me, or until I know that we're really doing this. And so it looks like this masculine is sort of closing the cycle and healing with the Star card and the Four of Swords. And that, you know, he may even be recognizing, admitting, or acknowledging through some type of conversation that she is his wish fulfillment. And that, in fact, this is what he really wants. And that he's just got to go through this difficult ending in order to have this new beginning. And that when he is free to make the decision, he is going to. And he is taking the steps now to free himself to make this decision. But with the Ten of Cups here, either he already knows that there is this potential for emotional contentment with the feminine, or he's already experienced it with her, and he's doing all of this to continue to experience it with her. Let's look at the feminine. Mental body, their thoughts. Okay. Wow. Wow. See, I said there was this patient energy and this koi fish energy, which there is always enough. With the Hangman and the Ten of Swords and the Ten of Cups. Wow. I mean, look at the mirrored energy here. You know, the feminine is realizing that I think that this masculine has got to have this clarity and come to this conclusion on their own. They can't force it. They can't make it happen. With the Temperance here, there's also this acknowledgement that there has already been, I feel like, some sort of coming together. For some of you, you may not have met this person yet, and this may be something brand new where you are coming together with someone new. But there is this acknowledgement with the Ten of Swords that, you know, it's always best to, well, really, you can't have an honest to goodness new beginning without completing something, you know, without having an ending. And I feel like this feminine is in an energy where she is free and ready to come together and able to come together, and even has done quite a bit of healing work. But I feel like she also sees, you know, looking back on the past, how maybe she rushed into things with people that were still in the middle of a rough ending, and it ended up bringing about a rough ending. Wait, I have a friend who always says this: how you get into a relationship is also how you get out of it. And I've thought about that a lot, and I think it's so true. And if you come into a relationship with someone who is in the Ten of Swords, someone who is, you know, completing a very difficult cycle in their life, and they haven't completed it completely, then it's probably going to end up being a very difficult cycle in your life. That's probably how you're going to end up getting out of it too, is that you give and give and give and try, and then you end up suffering because you were dealing with someone who was suffering, who hadn't healed. You were trying to move on and have a new beginning with someone who was still in the throes of a difficult cycle. They may have been at the end, but they weren't completed. And so this feminine has her eyes and her sights on the 10 of Cups, emotional contentment with another person. And she may have even learned from past experiences that when you get together with someone who's not healed, who's going through something really messed up or really difficult or really hard, that, you know, it ends up sort of finding its way into your life and sort of consuming your life as well. And so she's hanging back. She's willing to sacrifice herself and this energy of coming together, even though she's ready to let this masculine be in the proper energy, because she's not looking for another 10 of Swords at all. She's looking for the 10 of Cups. See, I kept getting this energy with the feminine of, you know, that she's having to hold back, you know, she's having to, you know, she would like to just fall in love. She would like to just be free to experience this emotional contentment. But it's like there is this up and down of her heart, because her heart is really falling for this masculine, or has already fallen for this masculine. I think she's tried to take it very slow. I think she's been very, you know, kind of mindful about, she wants to make progress, right? But she, and she wants to let the masculine know that she's there and she's interested in whatever, but she goes with that energy until it starts making her feel really imbalanced, because the masculine does something or shows his loyalty to someone else, or, you know, kind of can't show up for her because he's too overbooked or whatever. He's got his energy going in too many places. It's bringing about a huge transformation. It feels like a maturity in her own heart. But I feel this great sadness in this heart space where it's kind of like, you know, I just want to love you. I just want to give you everything that I have to give, but I can't when I feel like I have to stay ready to walk away. You know, that when I feel like I may end up having to walk away from this in the end. So, you know, it's just kind of keeping her in this energy of limbo in the heart space. Again, I love the confidence of this feminine. I don't, like, for real. You have the Nine of Swords, you have the Lovers, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Empress, okay? And with the Nine of Swords, you know, this is a little bit of fear and anxiety. And we saw the anger card. And remember, I was telling you, it's kind of about having to suppress those emotions. It's kind of having to sort of suppress even sometimes maybe the things you want to say. Because if you realize that somebody hasn't closed out a cycle and that you need them to close out a cycle, you have to you have to sort of hold back what you say, because your words may end up starting a cycle with them when they're not ready. And then that how we begin a relationship is just so important, and it may actually work against you. So it's almost like I'm having to suppress my feelings, or I'm having to suppress what I want to say, or I'm having to just sort of be really patient and really trusting and really surrender, and trust that things are going to change in this situation. But it is causing me some sleepless nights, and it is causing me some anxiety, and it is causing me this energy of like, should I say this or should I not say this? Or, you know what I mean? That's what I feel like it's kind of around. With the Lovers, the Wheel of Fortune, there's like, this person has come into my life for a reason. I completely recognize this. This is a soulmate connection. I am either learning something deeply from this experience, or this is my person. Either way, I feel like my life is changing. With the Queen of Wands, there is a lot of confidence in this feminine's energy, where she's acknowledging that she knows she's attractive, and she knows that she is capable of drawing in like other people towards her, or, you know, attracting what she wants towards her. And with the Empress, it's like she's getting like almost more and more sure of this, or more and more sure of herself. And that it's almost like through this experience, she is possibly really getting into deeper spiritual powers of like manifestation and attraction, where she's really able to create a life of abundance for herself, even just by learning how to hold out for what she really wants, and what she knows she really deserves, and to kind of let nature take its course and not force or cling to an energy and not insist on it being its own way, but to just sort of have patience and see how it works out, how it shakes down, if this masculine really comes to his senses through this Tower energy. I just think she knows that the masculine is never going to find anyone like her again. So, you know, there is a certain level of confidence in her energy of just like, I'm 1 in a million. I'm the damn empress. You know, I don't know who you think you're going to find that's better than this, but if you can't rise up to meet the occasion of the empress, then I don't know what to tell you. All right, here we go. If you're dealing with a water sign, you're getting what we have is soul recognition. You were so unexpected. I am still moved by you. You changed my whole direction. My nerves get the best of me sometimes. If you are dealing with a fire sign, okay. You are the one. I don't care what people think anymore. Old flames. I am overcoming my fears. I just need more time. I don't want to let you down. Yeah, I do feel that energy, and the masculine's energy as well is just kind of like, I don't want to let you down. Like, I don't want to be the reason things don't work. Or I guess, I don't know. I just said that without thinking about it. If you're dealing with an earth sign, you're getting stuck, resentment, angry. What did I just say when you're constricted? Cold. Anger, anxiety. You give me so much to look forward to. This person is pissed with whatever choice they've made that's left them stuck. Like, they want to be free. They want to come forward. I think, you know, they're probably having several Tower moments. They don't seem to be budging so much, but, you know, give it some time. If you're dealing with an air sign, you're getting repressing. I've been having weird dreams about us. The changes are real. I am choosing you. I am ready for more than just texts. Triggered. All right, guys, this is what I have for you today. You and them. I hope it helps. I hope it brought you some peace and clarity. If it did, let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I'm sending you guys off with all my very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.